Did you know? Although Super Mario RPG's action commands inspired the gameplay of future Mario RPGs, the dynamic battles of Superstar Saga were inspired by an entirely different game. Before working on the Mario and Luigi series, developer Alpha Dream made a Japan-exclusive RPG titled Tomato Adventure. This game had a gimmick system where the player had to complete different kinds of minigames to execute attacks. The art direction in Tomato Adventure is notably similar to Superstar Saga as well, with Mario and Luigi lifting some designs straight out of the game. This can be seen with Hermie the Hermit Crab, who is based on Tomato Adventure's Yadotsuri enemies. The work Alpha Dream did on Tomato Adventure led to Nintendo asking the developers to make a Mario RPG. Early on in the game's development, they decided to focus on the Mario brothers as a pair, rather than just Mario. When this idea was presented to Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto, he suggested the team dedicate a single button, A and B, to control each brother separately. And this was quickly implemented. When Alpha Dream began work on Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, Nintendo hadn't even finalized the design of the DS, and the team didn't have much information to go on. All they knew is that the system would have 4 face buttons instead of 2, and the system would use 2 screens. The idea to use 4 characters to utilize the additional X and Y buttons came naturally, but the team had no way to test this without a development kit. To get a head start on development, Alpha Dream actually made their own DS prototype using a Super Nintendo controller, an original Game Boy Advance, and a GBA SP, all wired together. The team began development using this device, and would even show their progress to Nintendo in presentations by wiring 2 Game Boy player systems to 2 TVs. When Alpha Dream got the chance to make a third game in the series, there was concern in how to make a new entry. The team felt they'd already taken the game to a logical next step, as Partners in Time used both of the DS screens and all 4 of its face buttons to control characters. To avoid retreading old ground, the team decided to focus on Bowser, and even set the game inside his body. Setting the game inside Bowser brought an unexpected challenge. How can we show the insides of someone's body for so long without making them seem disgusting? To get around this, the team's artists decided to draw everything in a rounded, soft style and impose a strict set of hues that could and could not be used to color Bowser's insides. As well as an interesting history, the Mario and Luigi series has a surprising amount of secrets. The backgrounds used during Superstar Saga's battles are all displayed at 240 by 160 pixels. However, the background images themselves are actually 512 by 256 pixels, meaning that less than a third of the full backgrounds are actually seen during gameplay. This also implies the backgrounds were originally planned to move during gameplay for all battles, rather than just the game's final fight and the battle with Trunkel. Also in the code of Superstar Saga is a Game & Watch item. Its exact purpose is unknown, though based on its placement among the game's files, it was most likely planned to be a key item at some point. There are also 8 unused music tracks in Superstar Saga that are arrangements from Alpha Dream's previous title, Tomato Adventure. These were likely used for testing during development. The first game also contains several nods to other Nintendo titles. The sound effect that plays when a battle is triggered is actually the power-up sound effect from Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. And in Bink's Barrel minigame, an 8-bit sprite of a Stalfos from the original Legend of Zelda briefly appears on screen if the player erases 4 rows of barrels at the same time. And Geno from Super Mario RPG makes an appearance during the Star Smash minigame, which is notable as the intellectual rights to the character actually belong to Square Enix, not Nintendo. Sadly, Geno's cameo was cut from the 3DS remake of the game, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowsers Minions. The game's Starbeans Cafe also has several unused cameos that would originally be triggered with each new drink made in the cafe. The game was planned to have appearances from Wario, Captain Olimar, Samus Aran, Link, the Excite Bike Racer, and Fox McCloud, with minor appearances from Peppy and Slippy. As part of Superstar Saga's marketing campaign in the West, Nintendo of America hosted a knock-knock joke competition. Entrants were asked to submit their best jokes, and each gag would be judged by stand-up comedian Kathy Griffin. The winner of the contest would receive a prize package including a Game Boy Advance SP and a copy of Superstar Saga. The winning joke from the contest was, "Knock knock, who's there? Pencil." Pencil who? Your pencil fall down if you don't wear a belt. Superstar Saga also contains 2 small secrets involving the Nintendo GameCube's Game Boy Player peripheral. The game is one of only a handful of Game Boy Advance titles that support the GameCube's Rumble feature when played on the Game Boy Player. Additionally, if a second controller is plugged into any of the GameCube's controller ports while playing Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Player, it can also be used to control the game, essentially allowing for a makeshift co-op mode. The second Mario & Luigi game, Partners in Time, contains an unused bro item item called the Spike Shell. This attack was usable in an early playable demo build of the game at E3, and was also shown in promotional material. There's also an unused enemy that appeared in the game's marketing that's called Scootbloop in the game's data. When put into the game via hacking, Scootbloop only has one attack and crashes the game after its turn is over. There's another amusing mistake in Partner in Time's marketing material. At the very bottom of a My Nintendo trial registration sheet inside the game's case, there's a copyright notice that lists the game's title as Mario and Luigi Partners in Crime. When booting up Partners in Time, a voice clip of Mario and Luigi saying Nintendo is heard. Once the player reaches a point in the game where the brothers join up with their baby counterparts, the clip changes to include the voices of all four brothers. However, when the player reaches the point in the game where the adult brothers are seemingly killed aboard the Koopa Cruiser, if they save and restart the game after taking control of Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, the voice clip will be replaced by just the baby's voices. Additionally, only Baby Mario and Baby Luigi will be present on the title screen, with the adults nowhere to be seen. This does not happen at any other point in the game where the babies are separated from the adults. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story contains an unused item named Dummy that appears as a white mushroom covered with red hearts. When used, the item heals Bowser for 60 HP, even if it's used by Mario and Luigi while in Bowser's stomach. Several enemies in the game can normally only be fought as Bowser by himself. However, if the game is hacked, these enemies can be seen using normally unused attacks and behaviors when fighting against Mario and Luigi. The Mario and Luigi series has been subject to many changes between the Japanese and international versions. The Japanese version of Superstar Saga actually released after the North American version and appears to have had more development time. The Japanese game added in a demo mode that plays the cutscene of Peach's voice being stolen if the player sits idly at the title screen for too long. 2 debug rooms had to be removed from the game's code in order to make room for this feature. A piece of equipment called the Oho gear can only be obtained in the Japanese version of Superstar Saga, despite being present in the data for all versions with a translated name and item description. The Japanese version of Superstar Saga also added in a heart block that fully restores Mario and Luigi's HP and BP when hit. The block can only be found in 3 places: Bean Bean Castle Sewers, Oho Oasis, and Teehee Valley, but would go on to appear in future installments of the series. In Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, the player encounters a pair of mind-controlled Hammer Brothers in the Vim Factory. In the English version, the Hammer Bros talk in a butchered internet leet speak. This was not the direction the Japanese writing staff went in, however. Instead, the Hammer Bros dialogue is written in katakana while they're under the effects of the mind control, likely to imply they're speaking a foreign language or simply aren't themselves. During the boss fight against Sunnyside, a group of Yoshis will aid Mario and Luigi by pushing a boulder off a ledge. In the Western version, the second Yoshi in the group is colored black. In the Japanese version, the second Yoshi is yellow instead. The Japanese version of Partners in Time also added in a new gameplay mechanic where certain bosses could use counterattacks. Bowser, the Elder Shrooboid, and Elder Princess Shroob all make use of this mechanic. When hit by Mario or Luigi, an exclamation point will appear over the boss's head and they'll immediately respond with an attack of their own, regardless of turn order. The Japanese release of Partners in Time also added in a brand new piece of music, an ending theme that plays over the last screen of the game. Fawful is a recurring villain in the series known for speaking in broken English. However, they actually speak normally in the Japanese games, aside from ending every sentence with a trademark laugh. Fawful's minion Midbus, who appears in Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, originally spoke using various plays on words that didn't translate well into English. Instead of translating it directly, Nintendo of America's localization manager Nate Bildorf wrote Midbus's dialogue in the style of a poorly dubbed kung fu movie to reference the troubles of translating the character's dialogue. Mario and Luigi games tend to have different titles across regions they're released in. For example, in Japan, the Superstar Saga is called Mario and Luigi RPG, and Partners in Time is called Mario and Luigi RPG 2x2, a reference to the game starring 2 pairs of Mario Bros. And the Spanish, French, and Italian titles for Bowser's Inside Story translate to Mario and Luigi: A Journey to the Center of Bowser. This is a nod to the Jules Verne novel Journey to the Center of the Earth. Did you also know that the Nintendo GameCube could have been named the Nintendo Star Cube, or that the system's online network was planned to be named Star Road in reference to Super Mario World? For more Nintendo facts, check out our video on the GameCube, and if you like this video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to our channel. And if you're a fan of the Mario RPG series, you might be interested in my RPG project, Terrain of Magical Expertise. If you check out our Kickstarter page, we've got a free demo, and for as low as a $30 donation, you can have a background NPC based on you or one of your characters put in the game. Check it out, and I hope you enjoy.